just got to get myself.
Well, that's sure, man.
Actually,
That chair's going to hold that.
I'm not going to sit on it. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you've heard a couple of times that our topic is miracles are us. And that's pretty impressive. But I want to just remind you, I guess the context that we're all talking in has to do with several other statements that are put up around a variety of centers for spiritual living and things of that sort. One of them, as you came in this morning, and I usually set it up and I was kind of smiling to myself because I set the sign up just outside the door. Usually that's kind of a morning bit of business for me. And I said, what did that say again? Gee, I don't kind of read it. I kind of just put it up without even thinking about it. And it talks about this aspect of oneness, one world, one people, one spirit. And then it says to share spiritual tools to transform lives and help make the world a better place. So that's pretty big. And I guess what I'm talking about today is going to be about spiritual tools. But it is about becoming bigger and better too. And another one that, again, we don't have our own sanctuary here, but I know in Vernon they've got some things stuck up around the sanctuary, and that is the intention of Centers for Spiritual Living is all about awakening us to our spiritual magnificence. So that's a second statement that's pretty big, and it kind of gives us purpose and vision and that sort of stuff. And then we've got a new vision that has been articulated through our mission statement, and that is, Lana mentioned it, and I think somebody else mentioned it here, to be all that we can be. Ooh, nobody would argue with that. Pretty big. So that's 3 statements. And then there's that profound 6-word statement again that really seems like a cornerstone of the whole science of mind. And that is, how's that go? Change your thinking, change your life, right? And all of those kind of point me to what I'm going to talk about. And I would probably need 2 or 3 days to do it. So I'm not going to do it because I've got about 4 minutes and 28 seconds to go. However, it is miracles are us. And I want to just give you a brief little personal flavor for this. When we were chatting about what we were going to do today, we were having brekkie and one thing and another, and we were talking about each other, what comes to mind and all that. And the thing that came to my mind about Miracles Are Us had to do with a couple of books. I'm a bookie. Sorry, but I'm a bookie. Anyway, I had an experience, an ongoing chronic illness for quite a few years. And I was going to Dr. Don in Vancouver. And he suggested perhaps I might like to go home and, not go home, but to go home and get, or look into a book. And this is what it was, Feeling Good, the New Mood Therapy. And I was experiencing depression and a few other things. So it says here, it's about looking at or trying to approach depression in a bit of a different way. And essentially, I went home and my life was transformed. Because I went in here and I was 49 years old at the time. And I realized when I opened this book up, I realized that I had been kind of sleepwalking through my entire life. You know, you get the cars, you get this, you've got a wife and kids and stuff. I was actually living an unconscious life for 49 years. I was sleepwalking. And that book, this book, and the handbook, which I found at the Pat store, and I think they're written in about 1980, and they're kind of focused on depression, but it's bigger than that. You know, it's bigger than becoming conscious, and bigger than, than depression, just, awakening to your spiritual magnificence. And it's kind of bigger than to be all that you can be. And it's bigger about change your thinking, because me thinking, I didn't realize that I had a thought. I didn't. I did not realize that I was thinking. And so this book said there are things called thoughts. Good idea. So anyway, somehow I got a little bit of a spiritual manifestation through there, and I realized that, oh, gee, I'm thinking. And then the other thing is you can clarify, oh, I just had a thought. That wasn't a very nice thought. What do you mean I can change my thinking? Ooh, that was pretty big. So I was aware all of a sudden, I started to wake up, I started to become conscious, and I realized that thoughts were going on, whether I knew it or not. And that once I started to wake up and be conscious and be proactive, and that I could actually start to control my thinking. They weren't just sort of flowing on through and the junk was flowing through and whatever. So all of that stuff about these tools and things, this book and the focus for me today and for you, is it up yet? Not yet. Okay.
You want it up?
Yes, please. The focus is, in a very small nutshell, I handed all, there should be about 40 handouts there, and I was trying to figure out how I could do it, because I can't possibly summarize what Burns, this guy, had to say. But it's a very, this book really emphasizes the clinical research and whatever of how important thinking is to the quality and the health of our lives. And it is true that we can, as we control our... Yeah, I just had a thought about what a good day it is. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely true. Change your thinking, change your life. So I went from not thinking, being unthinking, just kind of being out there, to the point where now I'm fairly good. Well, most of them are good thoughts, and I work on it every day. So what is here, I studied for quite a while, and what's there would be patterns of thinking. I think there are 10 there. I took them out of here, worried a little bit about copyright and stuff. I said, oh yeah, that's 30 years ago and I'm declaring it and all that. It comes out of a little piece in this book, and it essentially helps me to identify things. Oh, there's a thought. Or I'm driving along and there's some guy pulling up behind me, and I look in my rearview mirror and I said, maybe I better pull over. He's probably going to get choked because I'm driving the speed limit. What is that? Well, I quickly pull out my Burns book and I look here, and all of a sudden I'm jumping to conclusions. Number 5, I'm mind reading. You arbitrarily conclude that someone is reacting negatively to you and you don't bother to check this out. So you get the drift that this is good stuff. For some of us, it's too big. For some of us, it's a little chunky. But, and really, this is kind of too big for me because I've got other things to do, like studying to do and whatever. But if you pulled out even a couple of these little things, all or nothing, overgeneralization. Geez, I did a lousy job today. I just never do a good job. I mean, how do we hear this sort of stuff? So I'm simply going to leave it and invite you to maybe peruse some of this. I put a couple of notes on the bottom here, again, related to more of the recovery, the process of recovering. But has it given me a life? Yeah. I mean, miracles are us. And actually, I know that I am a miracle, because God is life, and life is all good, and I am part of life. So it's all miraculous. And I mentioned in the meditation today, of course, that it's one of those circumstances where we need some tools to help us reveal the truth of ourselves. And that's what this place is all about. It is all about, and that's the purpose of me being here, and that's my miracle for me, for you, is simply to share tools And I found this idea of this Feeling Good handbook with David Burns. I don't know what he's doing today. You might just Google him or something and find out. But that notion that being conscious of what we're thinking and, oh yeah, that's about me believing that the world is out, that this guy behind me is angry with me. And I now would say, no, not going there. I know life and all life is for me, so life is good, and I just let that go. So this definitely is a profound tool for me, and I invite you to kind of consider it in your spiritual work and stuff and on your journey, because it can be all about that stuff, about changing your thinking and changing your life and transforming self and better worlds and things like that. And bless you.